Hello YouTube, Kyle here, back for part 2 of the, How to Survive Uni series. Today I'm going to go over some things that you will need when you're at university, both for university and for your flat life / house life. Now, I'm going to start off firstly with the uni life and things you're going to need for that. Let's start simply. First of all, you're going to need something to write with and write on. So you could use pen and A5 notepad. I use A5 because, if I can't be bothered to pick up my bag one day, A5 notepad's always there on my desk and it's easy to transport, especially if you're running late. It's up to you. Again, that one there is from Morisons and the pen is from the university itself, they have a shop. But you can get them from Wilco's at a really decent price, all of them. I would also advise you getting a pencil and a ruler as well. Okay, the next thing you're probably going to want is a pair of comfortable shoes. You are going to be walking a lot around campus. It's one of them things that I don't really say very often, but you will walk quite a lot around campus, so you want a pair of shoes that's comfortable and will support your feet very well. I can't really leave a link or anything for that one because, again, it's your feet, you will know your feet. Okay, the next thing you're going to need is a pretty sizable bag. I personally use a laptop bag by Tigris. That cost me £20 from Asda. But again, you want something that's pretty strong, can hold weight and whatnot, and is pretty sizable as well, but not too cumbersome that you can't move it around. You're going to hate me for this next one, because these can be very, very expensive. Your textbooks. Now, I have one of my textbooks here, jump in hell. I have one of my textbooks here. I have 3. This is actually the thinnest of them all. They can be very, very expensive. So there's a couple of ways you can sort of circumvent the massive expense for this. The first way is to go on Amazon. Amazon has if I typed in Atkins Physical Chemistry, it come up with the normal thing by Oxford Press. I could also click on that and then it'd be other offers from. They will be at a lower price. Although you sometimes pay a little bit more for delivery, but still, they're typically at a lower price. Not always that much lower, but it's one of them things. Another thing is you can use a thing called Thrift Books. I personally haven't used this service, but a lot of people I've spoke to and a lot of people I've met did use this service, and they've said if you don't mind the wait, it's a pretty good service. It isn't the university's responsibility. These books are very, very expensive, and it's kind of a big cost for them to outfit an entire year. It's also not their job, it's kind of your job to make sure you're equipped to learn. Unpopular opinion, but I'm sorry, it's kind of true. The next thing you're going to need, and again, I apologise for the cost on this one, is you're going to need a laptop. Some universities will have laptop hiring services, but it's better to have one of your own. I personally use a MacBook Pro 12-inch Retina with a dual boot Windows option. That's just because it was a laptop I liked, and the Windows is just there for software like ChemSketch that doesn't run on Mac. But, that's just more for compatibility issues. I would stand by that laptop. It's not perfect, don't get me wrong, there are things that are wrong with it. It's up to you, what you find easy to use. The only thing I will say is don't get a notebook. They're very small, the keyboards are very fiddly and hard to type on, and also they often aren't powerful enough to run quite a lot of the software that you might be running. Especially if you're doing animation and things like that, your animation software will require a lot of power. They are rendering full things. But if you want me to do a full video on my computer, if you want me to do a video with my recommendations for computers, leave a comment in the comment section below. I'm from a family that's very tech savvy and I've been around computer parts for as long as I can remember. The other thing you're going to need, and again, it's very expensive and you're not going to like it, but it's a phone. You're going to need a smartphone with a decent data plan. That's because most of the time you're going to be going to a new city that you've never been to before. Outside of an open day, you won't have been to the city and really won't have experienced it. You need somewhere where you can just look on, on my phone I can just boot up Google Maps and be like, oh, that's where I need to be. Start GPS if you really want. You need something so you can constantly refer back to it. Most of you will probably have a phone, and so you'll not really find this an issue, but nevertheless, I personally use an iPhone 6s, and I find it quite good. It's brilliant for the things I need it for. Mostly I got this because it works very well with my laptop. The next one you're going to want, this one's free, don't worry about it. You're going to want a friend. This one's going to sound very stupid and silly, but seriously, get a friend. Ideally one on your course, if not many, 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 many people. Come January, you're going to have a lot of things happening. The first of them is exams. Exams are extraordinarily stressful. and so a friend can help you through them, and you're gonna have to pick where you live next year. That's deciding time, Jen. They're there, and you know you've got someone potentially to move in with. So let's move on to the next bit. The next bit is going to be what you're going to need for your flat. Okay, so there's a long list here. I'm just going to reel them off in the order in which I remember them, because there is a lot of them. Okay, let's start this thing off. Okay, firstly, bedding. You're going to need something to cover your bed with. You're going to need bed sheets to go over that bedding. Okay, you're going to need food. You're going to need pans to cook said food in. You're going to need coffee. You're going to need some more coffee. You might want to throw some tea in there as well, but you're going to need some more coffee after that. You will burn through coffee. You're also going to need some mugs. I have two of my nice, lovely mugs here. Okay, the next thing you might want is a printer, but it's not essential because your university will probably provide one of them anyway. Okay, next thing, cleaning supplies. You need to make sure your flat is clean. Okay, clothes. You're going to need a lot of clothes. Let's face it, you probably got a lot of clothes anyway, so that's not necessarily one you're going to have to buy. Okay, the next thing is detergent. I recommend getting capsules. Most halls of residents don't allow you to use powders or fabric softeners, so capsules like this one here, this Personal Bio capsule, are perfect. You're also going to need a lot of petty cash as well. Most places that I know of will charge you to use their washing facilities, but it depends on whether they do like a card system, whether you can pay with your card. You're going to want some A4 paper this time. Both. You're going to want lined graft and plain A4 paper. You can get these from Wilko's again, or from Morisons or Asda, or basically anywhere that sells paper. I have found that Asda tends not to be very universal in whether it sells grass paper or not, but some Asdas do, some Asdas don't. It's very strange why they don't, but I don't know. You're also going to need some pan oil. Also, you can get frying pans that will allow you to do dry frying a lot easier now. I have one of them. I can't remember what they're called, though. Okay, you're also going to want baking trays, especially if you're going to be cooking sausages, things like that. Roasting vegetables, baking trays. Tinfoil also helps if you want to go over the baking trays. It will do two things. It will cook your food a little bit quicker, and it will also help keep your baking trays clean. Casserole dishes, especially if you want to make a lasagna or something. You're going to want a bin bag. You're going to want bin bags as well. You can never have enough bin bags. They're just one of them things that you need. Cooler bags and cooler blocks. Plates. You're going to need a lot of plates as well. And also cutlery. They tend to either get broken, go missing, get smashed, so have a fair few. The next set of things are things that you might want to find out who you're living with first and arrange with them who's getting what. Because you only really need one of them, so just arrange with people. One is a kettle. You might not get this with your halls of residence, so again, check with your halls of residence first. Two is, you're going to want a toaster. Again, you might not have this with your halls of residence. Three is a microwave. Mine did provide one, but again, I'm not sure if all of them will. Check with your halls of residence, and also check with your flatmates. Slow cookers. They're amazing. Toasty maker. Cafetiere, so when your parents come visit, you don't look unsophisticated. Teapot as well. I don't personally drink tea, but teapots are very useful to have. Washing up liquid. You can never have enough of this, so all of you bring some. Also, maybe a TV. You might want to, if you've got a TV, you might want to bring it down, but check with your flatmates first if they're willing to pay a TV license on it. And also make sure you've got somewhere where you can put it, where you can all. Just a thing to note. Also, extension cables might be useful. I've just thought of that, because we used to have movie nights in my flat where we used to bring my TV and my PlayStation into the kitchen, and we used to watch movies. And we used to have to use an extension cable because none of the wires reached. Extension cables, bring them. They're amazing. You might not have that many plug sockets, so get one of them big tower things. They're brilliant, amazing. Ethernet cables as well. My God, I'm thinking of them all now. But nevertheless, there you go. Till next time, goodbye, YouTube.